Finally, we've got the chance to do some more videos, which we've been looking forward to doing for a while, and behind me is Brandon's Polo GTI 6C. This is a 1.8 TSI model. We're going to be doing a full IS20 Stage 3 build on this. So you've probably seen we've done loads of IS38 cars now, producing mental power, but he wanted something that was a little bit more user-friendly, more of a daily car, but could still give him the, you know, what he needed around the track essentially. So we are going to take you inside, fit all the Stage 3 bits. So we've got a VUDU cooler going on there, Scorpion D-Cat, all sorts of bells and whistles. So we'll jump inside, show Callum fitting some bits, and then we are going to jump on the dyno, start doing some base mapping. We're going to start with base mapping, do some data logs, understand, you know, what the car's happy with, but ultimately we're aiming for around 300 to 320 is where we want to finish with this package. Once we're happy with it, I'm going to use the car personally for a few days. We've got it all week, and then Brandon's going to go put some miles on it for us, and then we'll be looking to release this kit for the summer, ready for people who don't want to go quite as crazy as an IS38. Right, so we are back in the dyno cell, and Callum has fitted all the parts to this car and loaded it to the dyno. So I wanted to take the opportunity to run through quickly some of the additional hardware that's required to achieve a Stage 3 car on one of these. There are two options of turbo, which we'll touch on, but ultimately you're going to need an uprated intercooler. This car's got our VUDU Stage 3 intercooler on it. We would recommend a good quality intercooler because you are going to be producing a lot more heat and the charge temperatures are going to go up. So if your intercooler is a cheap alternative, the likelihood is that you're not going to achieve the power that you want. Intake kit wise, there's racing line available for these, which is really good. We're working on our own VUDU intake kit, and some people like to do what Brandon has done and make a bit of their own kit. So he's used a Golf R turbo elbow, muffler delete in there, and done some upgrades internally to the standard airbox by the look of it. He's also added a small intake sort of elbow down here into the airbox, which actually looks really nice. So you are going to need intake, you are going to need a downpipe. Sports cat or D-cat is entirely up to you. Obviously for road use we're going to recommend a sports cat, but that is going to detract from the fact that you can have overrun D-cell mapping if you want pops and bangs. Couple all that together, there's some other additional bits and pieces that you can add on, try and give it every opportunity. This car has got the APR coil packs, which are available through AET. He's put some Funk Motorsport turbo blanket on, which actually looks really good. I'm going to contact him and see if we can get that added to the web shop. And ultimately you are going to need a clutch when you go to this level. Now I can't remember what Brandon said he'd put in this car, but we have supplied and fitted loads of RTS clutches. They're really good, and we've taken it to IS38 level, which is even more powerful than this car. So to touch on the turbos quickly, IS20 is your Golf GTI platform, so you would expect to see sort of 300 to 320 horsepower hardware depending, which is essentially the result that you would get from a Golf GTI on like a Stage 1, Stage 2 file. Obviously with all the hardware and the turbo bolted to here, that's what we'd expect to see on this. An IS38 turbo is your Golf R turbo. Now that's the big boy that quite a lot of people go to, and there's some, you know, some opinion of whether that's ideal for an everyday road car or whether you're better with slightly less power that you can use more. So the IS38 turbo conversion, generally speaking, on the Polo GTI fuel pump, we'll see about 370 to 380. If you upgrade to a Golf R fuel pump, you can then expect to see up to 400 horsepower, some a touch over that. Then if you want to go mad after that, you're talking into like putting a hybrid IS38 on and an Autotech aftermarket fuel pump. I don't really see the point. I think once you get to 400 horsepower, they're a real handful to drive anyway. So yeah, so what we're going to do now is we use two different types of logging on our Stage 3 cars. We use an Ecotech logger and VAGCOM. So we're going to jump in the car, do loads of base data logs to see where we're at. Flash our Stage 3 file on, in fact the Stage 3 file is already on there, the base file is on there, so we're going to see where we're at and then turn it up from there. We're hoping to achieve anything over 280 wheel. I think we're in good shape. Anything pushing towards 300 wheel is a fantastic result, so let's just see where we get to, then we'll get it on the floor. Me and Will will go out and do some road stuff, get some drive-bys, because I know it's a little bit more exciting than just listening to me whir on in here. And then we'll get some nice pictures and we'll get this kit out for sale for you guys. What a fantastic result. I genuinely can't believe that after just a couple of revisions we've managed to achieve, which hopefully you can see on the screen behind me, is more than what I'd anticipated at 280 wheel. We've actually, the peak figure on revision 1 actually did just short of 300 wheel, but we were just a little bit unhappy in the mid-range, so we've pulled a small amount of timing out, dropped the boost down just a little bit, and the car is much happier. So behind me are the figures. We've got 333 foot-pound and 294 wheel horsepower. Now, as a conservative guesstimate, if people want to know what that is at the engine, I would say if you took 10 to 12% drivetrain loss on a front wheel drive car, that's under what a lot of people quote, but I'd rather that than this customer go away, go to a dyno day and be disappointed with the rundown. Every rolling road seems to give a different figure, so generally speaking, if you took that as a 320 to 330 horsepower car, I think you'd be comfortable to go on any dyno in the country, be happy with the result. The curves are absolutely perfect, so it's not pulling any timing out, the boost levels are consistent. This is one happy car and I can guarantee it's going to be a happy customer. So if you are interested in software for your Polo GTI or Volkswagen Audi Group car, please do contact us. If you're not local to AET, we've got lots and lots of VUDU dealers around the country now, and we can point you into the right direction. We've just today set up an Australian VUDU dealer, so if you're watching from somewhere else in the world, Australia, we can get that sorted too. So it's really growing, which is fantastic. A kit like this can be supplied and fitted and mapped all in-house here or at one of our performance centres. And I would expect with a clutch, if you budget somewhere from, depending on hardware, 4 or 5 grand, I think you could build this car without the nice wheels and brakes and stuff, obviously, just from a power point of view. If you build the car up and you've got everything on there and it's ready to rock and roll for Stage 3 software, we charge $699, which including VAT and dyno testing. And again, our performance centres have set retail prices, so you'll pay that when you go there, and you'll get the same software and the same level of service. So let's get the car on the floor, go out for a drive on the road, get some of the fun stuff done. I'm really looking forward to testing this. I'm sure Brandon's going to love it. And if we can, ask you to give us a quick subscribe, bit of a like, share this about, we'd really appreciate it. So thank you very much, and we'll catch you on the next video. Right, so we've been out doing some filming this morning, and I've dumped Willem off driving the new VUDU Mark 8R demo car, which I'm sure he's very excited about, so that I can have a little go in Brandon's Stage 3 car. Callum's been out and data logged this last night, and to make sure it's the same on the road as what it was on the dyno. Obviously your load differences can cause slight differences within the logs and within the maps, so your road logging is really important as well. So anyway, anyway with Callum's words were this morning when I came in and said, oh, you've got it off the dyno and everything's looking good. His exact words were, it's something fast. I'm not going to swear on camera because I'm supposed to be a professional, but you don't get many words from Callum. He's not a man of many words. He just gets on with his job. But for him to turn around and say it's fast with all the cars that he builds and drives daily, I'm going to assume that it's got some get up and go. One of the main things that he mentioned was that because it's the IS20, it's a lot more perky, so it gets up and going a little bit quicker. The IS38 cars are blisteringly quick, but they do tend to just be a little bit more laggy. So I've spoke to Brandon today and said, look, I'm filming, am I okay to go out and just get some drive-bys and, you know, give it a bit of stick but not go mental? He said absolutely, you know, that's exactly what he's going to do when he collects it this evening, once he's sorted out the power steering. So I would have gone down some twisties, but unfortunately I can't really do that with it being so difficult to steer on. So the main things that as I said in the dyno cell, that I was really impressed with was that this car, the graph's really smooth, it's not pulling any time and it's not tailing off any boost, and it's still making more than what I anticipated. You know, obviously Brandon wanted to know the pub figures, so I would estimate this car as 310 to 330 horsepower, depending on which dyno you go to. They're all so different. We should probably do a video on the difference between hub dynos and different rolling roads and stuff like that, and fans on these small turbocharged engine cars. The fan on the dyno cell and the extraction unit is so important because they're so sensitive to heat. If it's mapped correctly, if it starts to see an increase in intake temperature and charge temperatures, it should pull timing out of the map, which is what ours does. So for example, if the if the ambient temperature's gone up and you're on track, it's going to pull a little bit of timing out just to make sure that it stays safe. If that's not there, then obviously you're running the risk of getting everything too hot, causing knock, and then, you know, one thing leads to another and you're going to end up with a poorly car. Wow. That is nuts. Absolutely nuts. I mean, obviously we drive a lot of fast cars daily at our place, and there's only certain, so you rarely get excited, and I've obviously just got this Mark 8R, and that is over a back road. I really don't think there's going to be a great deal to keep up with it, but the fact that I've just pinned that in second gear off a roundabout, I don't know if you can see, but it's a little bit damp, there's a bit of moisture in the air, it's cold, and it just hooked up and goes. We've absolutely nailed it with this car. He's going to love it. I'm confident of that. Noise from that Miltech sounds brilliant. So I mean, yeah, I'm super pleased with this car. I think it's a shame that the power steering's not working, but hopefully it comes back and we can get out on the twisties with it, because it's absolutely awesome. So look, we might as well sign off here because I'm stuck behind a load of traffic, and I'm sure you're sick to death of hearing me ramble on about how good this car is. But you know, I'm trying to get more time to be able to come out and do this sort of stuff, because I really enjoy showing what, as a company and as a team, what we actually produce. And I think it's rare to find these days where you get a young team that are really enthusiastic about what they're doing, and that shines through in the work that my team at AET produce and our supply chain, what they do. So I'm super pleased. So yeah, if you are interested in a kit, if there's anything that I've missed in the video that you want to know, you know, pop us an email across. Willem is pretty much full-time digital marketing. He will set out what we're doing next, you know, what people want to see, and then we'll just make it happen. So yeah, drop us a sub, and you know, fire over comments, share the video, all that sort of stuff. The more the merrier. It's good for us. So thank you very much, and we'll catch you on the next video.